na kwasi o abrofo din no
Miso. And the man choose guest speaker some. Me
but me who abrofo din bi aho.
Me di e kwasi kwata every boy. Na dey abrofo din ba to
Bible say dey wo hu. Ene dey what? Ho adanse le so.
Na me ameti ade tina ko so before.
Nti ne me hu ne hayi Emmanuel kwata every
bo.
Me sisa me di a che.
Boni so wodi so. Boni so.
Me di ne kwasi kwata every boy. Na dey abrofo din.
Enti sa ubo na bo so anyi so na so nyu
Obia me go fa me gazette be chewa na me se me di kwasi kwata o so say Emmanuel
we da fa kwa ba and then come on no ebeye ba ko pe because aso nyina etie aniwa nyina nso so ehwe nia enne yemrahye bidafi ebefiri hono aba na ni ebefiri ho aba no nso so ewo susuanso ewo oman yen kebi mami nkambi yen democracy ya practice enti enne after the Speaker of Parliament the communication to the House and enuachi Supreme Court so ruling anapai nia yehu the Parliament ye train say Speaker ba betenase because reporter yet and says you see MPP and this phone nyina omina kabum one more majority side of the House per reporter Hinam Ponsade man CCA two sides ni nyina kabum at majority side ho train Speaker na waba na ono ba be say we nkotra ha na we nso so nkotra ha but from baby a free a ba bedru enei e be pese be hua de kaka lawyer chumbere ma mensha se free also na yenhwe efi memenda no abe in fact efi Friday neighbor no there's been so many interpretations to Supreme Court ruling no vis-a-vis the communication from the Speaker of Parliament to the House ma yensha se free so na yenhwe their air course and what we can learn from it to deepen our democracy lawyer.
See, anapayencha arafoni atifo na yencha wa so na menu akweshin so yencha na yencha majority leader Erat Force yencha kasi so kuma na fai awone ne deputy menu apani me boss onabo amakofibua sorry and their leadership nyara alongside the NDC caucus in Parliament. Yes, enyo bi ne kuantwi ne mombo osiako woni ti ko ja kire ma de nipa kan no enti e de yenye bibi naja emre bi e wa e political party mu na wo bi so ye constitution mu ana abesie amanti na amanipa bi enipa yenuanom mpanimfo nan bi e ho aka amen nam so man ne yabedu bia yedu ayedi sen komoyi enti de ekoso na no nye obi me can say ne deliberate creation name a creation of the law in the political party NPP, creation of the law in the political party NDC, creation of the law in the Constitution of Ghana 1992 asa yanko yamra kuka nyina ni o the New Patriotic Party a muni pan na doso e wo de asi mu no one party constitution is very loud and clear say a bra party ne wo anamusini wo constituency bi mu se wusa ho a wo so ye party ni ba na ko soro tia ana so ko gina tia se nipa no man sini kro na mu a ombro from machines was automatically na se prakopa no a wonya party ni ba bi asitane say dem penifo kan ensu aye no na na magumo so yanwe and so you can't say that if your party constitution is taking you away on the other aspect you are still with them. You can't. If you want to mean your boyfriend, that the answer. So that's it. What mean your boyfriend, that the answer. Now, one national council no can give a waiver. The question is, has any national council given any waiver? Say they vote here with him. What is the national council? In this instance,
no.
In tonight, there's no waiver So by virtue of that law or that constitutional provision in their party constitution is applicable. Likewise, the NDC's own. The NDC senior Kwachaka. And so no, I cannot. You can't do anything about it. You knew the consequences and you decided to take it.
Yes.
So you must suffer the fate. Now the Akobaba we na say. And we be seen and be before ya. If no mo no mo doso. Na ne Ghana for chira mo bibi kakra wati wa no. Ana mo hu say, "Hey. Send your number no so tia say be ya." I don't know. But so you can't eat your cake and still have it at the same time. The SCA no, it was say na yensam na ho ma yenyina. But I am things if you buy said okay, if you buy that was I think I was in Kumasi since last Thursday to about Sunday also. Na your warning no I was following. I mean I was reading from various pages was so I've seen several arguments from very senior lawyers among us even non-lawyers in the now be the okay. Na ebi can do we say article 97(1)G no any H no ambiguous na then say okay well I'm not my queen. So the very moment there's a confusion with the law seek interpretation. In fact, there have been other judicial pronouncements. The boy no can can say. So we are court in Puna Udia, some crown and the constitutional provision be to Muna Uhian and yes, I'm a crowd. Trinken was in the now, for course, for instance, the case of Athens and Nathan Rollins and Nia Marchit will tell you that. Say so hold you on and then go to the Supreme Court for interpretation and come and continue. So you stay your work or your proceedings, go there, get your interpretations properly, and then we'll go back and over to us. But we saw, for instance, the High Court case on Judge Question. Why the judge, instead of going for the interpretation to come and do his work, he went ahead and gave a ruling. The judge went ahead and gave ruling without doing what the law has asked him, or I mean, the president has asked him to do, which is go seek interpretation on a particular provision before you come and continue your proceedings. That one was very okay with our brothers in the other side, I mean, the MPP. But today, the same people now, and we have people parliament. And the speaker say, obey the motion about me. And your petition, a motion. Many years with me, what I say. So once a motion goes before any authority, for instance, the court or maybe the parliament, you need some pronouncement over the motion. And you say, okay, about another. You can't think it's my committee number. Yawada. Now, the man who yam offer on Adiabro. Some come gum, some conifa. Maybe do Yawada, the woman I in a bed. Yabati. CJ. Say Yawada Basun, 7 years, young can be a service saying, Yen Yapani back of any markets, my home, or so make a court a copy interpretation. No problem. What's your copy interpretation on the G and the H of 971?
Yes.
It's not a problem. Go and do it. But that action that you are taking doesn't become an estoppel on the speaker. So because ABC didn't, I can't do anything. I have to wait for him to come before I act. No. At that moment, who said that even the court was even going to listen to you even immediately? We didn't know. So once you don't know what is going to happen, whether or not the court will hear you immediately, whether they will hear you at a later time, whether they will make any pronouncement or not, so we can't wait for you. And that doesn't become an estoppel on the work of Parliament, whereby they have to sit and wait for you to go and come before they say or do anything. Anything automatically, you expect that the needful must be done, which is the speaker making his pronouncement or his orders or directive or announcement, whichever way be able to be. Or we are now in Tiasia, then you take the decision. And you are adding an December to more Parliament. Not the Nina Coco, you say. Or kind a year article 97(1)G no, any H no. Ebe we say, Yen and 9 Womakonya Omotisono, Osha standing what the cinema, and acquires with me pronounces a Kunyano and any hobium. Internano, obey me just hand in Tiasia, any moon like I say. And Kunyano Omotisono, 8 million Munkunya. Now, no Nanchia Shoka Saba. Basiji, The Abama Menu in Yantiasiano, and they know the media or radio is to educate and inform.
Yes.
So let's do some small education. As so one may be and the Menu Unipedia.
Sure.
Every woman might be Kakra. So you have to could 97 geno. Dear neck, whatever woman.
Okay. Enti Yanko article 97.
1G.
1G.
Yamuna crack. Now
okay. Jane is okay. Jane is okay. So let's start from here. One, say a member of parliament shall vacate his seat in parliament.
Okay, ntino a mandatory.
Yes.
A idea
shall vacate.
Sani mana was son line A to H no.
Yeah.
It's about 8 or so. Sani mano e mu bia sia. We sam na se be dwani ku a si wo so no. Anasa na wo so ma ni si ye no. Won tena wakonya wo so biem.
A member of parliament shall vacate his seat in parliament. Jane, or say if he leaves the party of which he was a member at the time of his election to parliament to join another party or
nti ehona wodi kan ye no.
Yes.
Was se wo free ni party a wo mu onam so ba parliament.
Yes.
So party be no onam so ba parliament that's at 2020. Oba parliament in 2020. One party be so na ba one man people so one man decision na ba. Ba ko so na independent so na ba.
Yes.
It is wo free hono so ekwadwane party fufuro biara na konya no rebeto automatically. Sanu man kata o. But in this case no they didn't join another party. The first three no Kwachiaka, Cynthia Morrison, Asante. Good. Wome and Sanon did not join another party. So that portion of kind does not affect them. Now.
Or seeks to remain in parliament as an independent member.
Exactly. So honey, it was a Muslim say Jane now kind of 2 portions.
Yeah.
1 and 2. One first scenario. So we could join a political party, but that is not applicable in this case. But now they are not joining any political party. Or me and son are not joining. Because one woman, Jane Ekaum.
Yeah.
They are not joining any political party. They are joining. They are going as what? Independent. Now the operative word is seek. Now when about to be catch us, oh, are you futuristic? It is how can you seek be futuristic? You seek something today. But the response of that thing or the outcome may come tomorrow. But you are seeking it now. You seek it now. You are seeking to become the morning show host of Adom TV. Now, whether or not you will become, no, is a matter for tomorrow.
But it's
no. But you see, one kasa or person one kasa who are independent too. Was all per se. Seeking all per se. When you are taking steps to become, an election is not an event, it's a process. Process enough to disqualify the question. Emma Kortika said the fact that you went to file your documents or whatever with the EC at the time upon elections in your crown, a elections no. So if a member has gone ahead to declare his intentions with the EC, and that intentions has been brought to notice to the entire Ghanaian, is it not enough? He's seeking. At this moment, Bawumia is seeking to become president. John Mahama is seeking to become president. I don't know seeking to become president.
On the 7th of December.
Exactly. But they are seeking now. I don't know seeking. That is why they are perambulating across the length and breadth of the country. Nanado is a president already, so he is not seeking. So let's try to get the English right. They are seeking. Okay? They are seeking to remain in parliament. Of course, they are seeking to remain in parliament. They are in parliament now.
They are seeking to remain in parliament in 2025.
Of course. Of course. But, and I will say, no, I was no problem.
Yeah.
The woman you say seeking, you seek it now.
Yeah.
You seek it now.
That's
the outcome of your seek or whatever that you are seeking.
Yes.
It comes tomorrow. But and yet tomorrow now and Baba no and I will seek yet. You started seeking before the response. So they are gone. But they were seeking to remain in parliament. They are seeking to remain in parliament. They are in parliament now, but they want to remain there. They want to continue. Don't they want to continue?
Yeah, they do. they do want to.
No, don't they want to continue?
Of course, they want to.
They want to continue.
Brofono na sisi I'm a person me take brofono.
The word seeking, no, they hear me. Say seeking as you go in mini and go. Nyamutre. I go soon nyamutre. Because nyamutre. Ode nyamutre nyu.
Because make a sense.
Meba. I hope I think my antenna's open.
Brofono.
Okay, so seek or say is a verb. Attempt to find something. Attempt to find something. I don't know. Attempting to become members of parliament again. So why are you crying? Okay. Oh, me coming real age.
Okay. Sure.
So now, if was it okay? I made the crowd. It's a similar definition. Attempt or desire to obtain or achieve something. That is the word. You are desiring to become something. It's not now, it's tomorrow.
In the future.
In the future.
Yes.
That is what the law is talking about. Seeking, you are desiring. Futuristic. And the one but what's happening there? It's a nana what's happening. I tell you, Bibi Beton and I said the organic album. Now go to
H, you know, or say, or if he was elected as a member of parliament as an independent candidate and joins a political party.
Was he elected as an independent candidate?
Yes.
Has he joined a political party now?
Yes.
So why are we fighting?
Okay. My main so understand of 97. I know. Sorry. Lawyer question quality. Lawyer, my main was so on this article.
To be very honest, I mean, let me be very sincere. Na usually
because he paid our mic no.
Usually me call my first time we share our platforms. Usually me call radio. First question was one na me kusia. Enye with any disrespect to any bia nipa bia free the other side, but I mean sometimes the boy mouth structure arguments ni. Openi bi wa mean to needing. Because asem na papa. Bua wish ya na asem na say what test about form. Asa no beti make you submission or there. Oh yeah. But I'm happy say baby or them come on out. And to be very honest, this is not in any way to patronize him. We're very sound submissioner. I'm sure Sabema come on more educative than necessarily political.
Yeah.
But before cry me call into the legalities of it, you know. My first premise, maybe I take care, I think we interview one of their is a deputy.
Yeah, mene honorable comfort Kujo.
Yeah,
Ganza.
Let me.
Chief Yopana.
Deputy
majority chief.
Yeah. I'm not sure it's me just sure say it's so necessary as majority and minority. Na me you know.
Yeah.
And I mean kind of some tension be a brew up no. In my own honest opinion, and when I mean the position of the party, but my opinion as a reasonable Ghanaian say you have barely 3 weeks this parliamentary goes on recess. I mean just less than almost I'm not sure it's even up to 3 months, but 2.5 months, 2 months to elections.
3 months.
It's even less than 2 months to elections. Now, me would GDA say, even in demonstration of leadership, and this is not any disrespect to anyone, but it's my personal opinion. Sometimes, a little bit of modesty and wisdom can save a lot. Now, me can we say. Her idea yete ha ye di ho nkomo as lawyers at our level no we may take it at a different level. Yeah, a certain sample and constituents of Ghanaians so they also take it at a different level
because of the level of their understanding.
Yes, and one tension they be krom ha no. Na avoidable.
That's true.
Where I mean, we've had precedents in the past, particularly within the sub-Saharan continent. Rwanda no money adeno. If you read the history of Ntokwane, the political instability by and start here, there and no man getting sa and it got there. So me dear, me who say this one any political mileage and not say political outcomes can be a benefit even the NDC for the speaker to even go and do this. Me dear man. Also, ye pese ye nya obusa ne say na we pa sunsun so anan fa so papa be pa na de
majority no mo de ye den
oso ye de be reverse obusa no mama twaso mama nti baba chope ni mama nkasa osi ye de be reverse betting tax me boa osi ye de be reverse e-levy osi ye de be reverse de reverse mi tie ni din na me say mama sebi eburu na 7th December just around the corner. Now, person reverse BBA. Just 7th December, and can the most authoritative mandate here, the amount to reverse. Just 7th December. And now, you know, almost say election on Muntimini. And almost say parliament on Muntimina majority. Because if you trust in the campaign that you've done, if you trust in the confidence and character of your candidate, say, candidate in Nipa, Ghanaian seem as credible, Ghanaian seems or Kasimo Mujidia. 7th December is just at the corner. Today, now you have to plan the whole nation into this tension moment. And one here, if of course I know I'm Papa Samokujo Tumnia, the way they were calling for the peace council and other things, I'm just hoping that there will not be any excesses. Because we've shared the timing of Sir Adiwe to election time. I'm not sure say what any of us as a people. That was the comment that I wanted to make. And Namidisi says sometimes even in leadership, the demonstration of wisdom and modesty is very crucial, and timing is also very crucial. So now to the legality of the matter. Minya akasem ni bebre wa my love history historical precedents no ni ade wa mani nyina enti me metwa so afiri ho na metwa so afiri ho no ade a bepese metwe nyina dwen ba so say emremu no so ho ye free bibi an established principle in law that we call the principle of natural justice. Minya principle of natural justice nye emremu kwa na wo wiase baby so kai the genesis of creation ebra nyankopon bo so ni asase o ka che Adam ne ye Eve say Mame unu ukunu aduaba bi wo hahwe no mo ani da a mo kodi ye no when God entered back to the garden of Eden hu so mo de no unu de nyankopon ye o se mpanifo mo wo he Adam wo he o yere no so wo he bra eye de na sa aduaba a mesema mo ni mo ye de mo kodi until you give the opportunity to any party, any person, individual, the assembly so say no and to give the opportunity to such a party so on respond by hearing the person no so be taken and no asem no unina so no asem any pronouncement any order any information be abama bia no emremu no void.
What was what you're saying?
They make a question nyina say Mpensenpensenmu ya one mo ho asem abai some mpensenpensenmu yi these 4 MPs no under the rules of and of course so share Mr. Markins no Afenjo Markins no suit on the court particularly anyone who leaves are not more pay for stay of execution no money there. I think one of the strongest argument that they advanced had to do with the principle of natural justice. Now principle of natural justice and the ekakusie nyina na say emremu no is an established principle say speaker mpo ewa kwenya say motion no be making determination on it. So far as it affects individuals sa any perform na was say mo makonya etiom. And that principle of natural justice was breached. Unless, of course, he disputes that the principle of natural justice is not a tried principle established in law. Say, now I was here more makwenya to be heard because the motion about yes, cross carpet. In any event, the speaker even don't have the mandate to make such a determination. Because if you look at the work of the speaker is more administrative and procedural. And it is the more reason why Speaker Jumenina or use the standard orders.
But if there's been any precedents or as such, Honorable Esiamadi,
yes,
was he giving?
In himself now, Beba Hawkesiapa. In the case of Esiama, no, Krata party for no. Yes, she said the comma Speaker of Parliament. Then yes. Professor Michael Quinn.
Yes,
you copy Papa Esiama, and as soon as you copy him, is an invitation for him to see motion Amodiakono. Then he can act on it. In this case, no, Oman copy mo. Yang copy any 4 of the MPs. The aya say the kata common speaker say speaker and go forward. Say kwesi kwate na involve. Speaker ehunu say kwesi kwate wakofo obeyere. Speaker kwesi kwate wakoyi obi board there enti yemu no kumfo. Without giving any opportunity to send it say be you one. In any event, even if you move beyond the principle of natural justice, which even it is a tried and established principle, and I'm going to support it with the case. Openi so we lawyer ni Republican High Court Accra expert lie mensa 98-99. What is the court in the kind? Court and say failure to grant a party an opportunity to be heard is a breach of natural justice. And you know the consequential effect of the breach of natural justice? It render any decision, any order, any ruling, any determination on a subject matter void. And the speaker somewhat kind without even going into the merit of it. Whether or friend say Article 97, say try to place an interpretation. Of course, I can also read it and place an interpretation on it. And as soon as there is varying and contrasting interpretation placed on any provision of the Constitution, Article 2, Article 130 of the Constitution say that you have to take it to the Supreme Court to make a determination. Now, the Supreme Court room and make a determination. Kwana wan san fanya juma said the Union Muso fanya juma. Oh, yeah, Article 2, subsection 4, say. A purely illegal, friend say, a purely criminal activity, and as a criminal endeavor, I'm taking. When the Supreme Court make a determination, and somebody, whether an individual or a group of people, say one more and for the avoidance of that, this is what the Supreme Court had made a determination. If we read Article 2, subsection 4, or say failure to obey or carry out the terms of an order or direction made or given under clause 2 of this article constitutes a high crime under this constitution and shall in the case of president or vice president constitute the ground for removal from office under this constitution. So why will the Supreme Court make a determination, particularly more respected the principles of separation of powers? One thing I also want to say, in Ghana, unlike to say be a United Kingdom, I want parliamentary supremacy. Parliament didn't Hong Kong or Kasimbia a Gina Nesipino. In Ghana, your constitution in Chesa. In Ghana, you will be a friend of constitutional supremacy. Now, constitutional supremacy, no, you catch him say, Article 1 of the Constitution, but Article 1 say, the sovereignty of Ghana resides in the people of Ghana, in whose name and for whose welfare the powers of government are to be exercised in the manner and within the limits laid down in this Constitution. The Constitution shall be the supreme law of Ghana, and any other law found to be inconsistent with any provision of this Constitution shall, to the extent of the inconsistency, be void. Who move beyond a honor? Now, Article 93. I'm going to create the correlation and the point I'm trying to establish. Article 93, subsection 2, no, or say subject to the provisions of this Constitution, the legislative power of Ghana shall be vested in Parliament and shall be exercised in accordance with this Constitution. And most important point that it is subject to the provisions of this Constitution. The legislative power of Ghana shall be vested in this Parliament. Essentially, in the upper chair, Parliament to me is subject to this very Constitution. And whether the Speaker will make an interpretation. Okay, it's fine. Whether the Speaker will make an interpretation, whether the Speaker will inform, whether the Speaker will make a ruling, whether the Speaker will make a reference to the standing orders, all recourse have to be made to this Constitution. And what is the position on this Constitution when it comes to matters that there are ambiguity? Because the entire case ambiguity, say Speaker has his own meaning. Of course, my argument is Speaker never interpreted. No, the so inform way, or make key or bore mama. You see. Based on the motion now, one more table before the Speaker. If the Speaker had not placed a meaning and understanding on the motion there before him, there is no way he could have even made that ruling in the first place. Indeed, Speaker, no, there is the motion table before you. The Speaker, friend say, majority side, the majority leader had gone to court, informed you. I mean, in the interest of fairness, wouldn't you rather think, say, because Speaker, how do you want even just the court to make a determination? Say, some say in the chair, and say in the chair. But you go ahead, make a ruling that is almost plunging the whole country into chaos. But I want to emphasize that if you look at the role of the Speaker, as Elias said, that the role of the Speaker has nothing to do with interpretation. The Speaker's role is more on administrative, the Speaker's role is more on procedural, and the Speaker's role has nothing to do with interpretation.
But the Speaker has never attempted to interpret.
No, do I NHS? No? The Speaker
he only
apply the law,
yes.
But you cannot apply without putting a meaning to it. Article 97, a year bone of contention.
Yes.
I didn't want to do the work of the Supreme Court, just like me, the work of the Supreme Court.
Because I want to find out your understanding of Article 97.
Oh, I mean, at the end of, I'll come there.
Yes.
But let me build my point. Let me build my point.
Yeah, Kwesi.
No, you see, when it comes to matters of interpretation, it is not illegal for anybody to interpret the Constitution. But you see, as soon as there is different meaning placed on a provision of the Constitution, then recourse must be made to the Supreme Court to interpret. And reference is made to Article 130 of the Constitution. over Article 130 of the Constitution, also subject to the jurisdiction of the High Court in the enforcement of the fundamental human rights and freedoms as provided in Article 33 of this Constitution, the Supreme Court shall have exclusive original jurisdiction in all matters relating to the enforcement or interpretation of this Constitution. And nobody is saying, by interpretation, I cannot have my own meaning. My own meaning. Own meaning. But as soon as we don't agree on the particular meaning, which means that there is contrasting views, it has created an ambiguity. Reference has to be made to Article 130, Article 2 of the Constitution,
okay, so
which gives right to the Supreme Court as the sole entity and a sole body to make that determination. So we are in court, and Magana Fontia says the substantive matter has not been determined. And it's a understand and talk because for instance, if you want release, like for instance an injunction, if you want release for instance stay of execution, say me na word na otenable peer free her multimedia for the catabro so adwuma ntimi no nya dey enye bio me kasa sa na nsi na yayi wadi na one wo the catabro no yes o adwuma ka ne ade e wo ho nyina no ye meje ye mo amane ye ntie wo de you have the right within the remit of the law and under rule of law to quickly go to a court of competence jurisdiction and tell the court to say asema offend say multimedia kan no on train and sense in terms of the implementation of HASM on train sense until the final determination of the matter. That's what NSCU. Into the course we've not even gone to the merit of the case. And indeed, so disagree with the stay of execution na Supreme Court the amana. Emra wo kwan say one betima ko review. Can't you file for a review? And you can even go for review to say a court. Yeah, no more nadre. Maximum kind you should review it. Secondly, court na some will be opportunity say one more file, one more defenses, no more response, so that the court can make a determination on this matter, the substantive matter. And the idea to true mikako. Of course, my legal arguments are and go for no be brave. So as more can say court no kwa a mistake in terms of granting the stay of execution. And personally, I don't agree. Yes, because I don't agree on the basis say one more some more can you say what share ex parte motion. Ex parte motion, then you can court to grant ex parte motion in such circumstances. But counsel, over order 25 of CI 47, there are instances that court can grant an ex parte motion, particularly when the court feels say assembly. Due to the urgency of the matter and the urgency of the situation, court na mbema cause injustice to nipa no the assembly there about court. Of course, I've heard people saying say Federal Marking is not a part or interested member, but you see, Federal Marking represents a party. And look at them, yes. Exactly, you could have still gone. And I think other arguments are go for so advanced and they say the court shouldn't have gone beyond the 10 days because that. Yes. No, Mpensenpensenmu, but Omoka say na court na and go beyond 10 days na petitioners na ask na. Okay, order 25 of CI 47 now. Sana eka. Emrane say so be the ex parte motion back quarter. No be PBBA. What grantia kosra any can say bro 10 days. That's what order 25 of CI 47 no eka High Court Civil Procedural Rules. But counsel, so Kaiswa, the court has also made a determination. There is a case law, the Rosemary Kwando case. Our court on the car say in appropriate circumstances, a court of law can grant relief not sought for by the party. Rosemary Kwando. That's the decision of the Supreme Court. Say in appropriate circumstances, we wait to make a court to say, oh court, me here phone way. iPhone, man, but court to the bit make say for Samsung crane day and count. That is also within the jurisdiction of the court. As inherent right to make such pronouncements. And the me who the court on
kwasi
midisi nyina no Masima me can say even though the court has made a determination sebio say when the court no nyadwea there are right procedures and rules I say the FM.
Yeah.
Sa dramatization of issues she yempene we ntra we nya when emwo bia. Of course, nipa no be so speaker issue standing orders and they standing order I think they refer to order 18. Order 18 asks say speaker can inform on the vacation of seat. But when there is ambiguity, remember say reference has to be made to the Supreme Court to make a determination.
Yeah.
But me see very final. Me yes. Very finally. They make and say one thing also who say parliamentary orders and standing orders they are subservient to the constitution. At no point in a parliamentary orders also Senate constitution. And the constitution has to be the supreme law of the land, and it's the supreme law of the land. And until Article 2, Article 1, Article 2 of the Constitution talks about the supremacy of the Constitution and says Emrebia inconsistent with any provision of the Constitution. Okay. And there is no way the Speaker can hide under the standing orders and then make a constitutional ruling or constitutional declaration, particularly when he did not have the powers to do so.
Right.
And that powers has to do be for the Supreme Court.
But that's it. Lawyer Kwesi Kwarteng as the PRO for Ministry of Education and representing the MPP and Oten and Kano. Now, happy birthday, Nkoma, the Chief Executive Officer of Student Loan Trust Fund, Ura Nuhu Mahama. It's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Wishing you long life and prosperity. Cheers to your new age. And this is coming from Benjamin Edu, the head of corporate communication and media engagement at AT, formerly Airtel Tigo. Enti Ura Mahama, happy birthday to you. Mami kwa humano so ansana lawyer ma ho. Ohini amponsa eton krade mayen free emrasibu jesi. Ohini otimenka abosan nondu aba pa ho sima dubarako. Speaker ewurafi ho. Ede na ekoso ohini amponsa.
Yo, CJ, let me catch you say, Baye and the Botete, a dunum 50 seconds ago, and MPP caucus in Parliament, Omo, I walk out, Omo, a chamber, it's on the say, Omo caucus now, offices now, Omina, Ebomo, Eku, and a mobile, na Yura, Alexander Fenya marking, the leaders caucus, Ebaye, now one buy, no, it's on the say, na NDC, caucus, no, do no, Atsuna majority side, you know. Na e was say omo apie na eno na yewura Alexander Fenyamaki and Central for etwin komo na what you say MPP dey say because mami ka bi dey say we omo pri mo enye enya dey a omo abepe so mbe gidigidi bia na so mbe basabasa e bia omo ne eye NDC entwe ni kese bia no omo apie na makwakwatena mo offices na omo te offices wo na speaker a onyamba ye no say speaker ba na wo ba na wo pese wo tie speaker nchen the speaker adaka no eno na won ebebedi so nti se pepe am na o ka say de MPP caucus in Parliament yewura Alexander Fenyamaki eda anono ade a omapie a omnyina no omukọ omo offices na nsem mienu a Alexander Fenyamaki ekan ye ene se won ewo ni die edema eye court a batan no na nsem about court no aka no ene se decision na speaker efa ye ya woda no se MPs enabi wayi omodi no omodi se Supreme Court no aka ne prefer se opani no entwentwen so ansa nti what they will give say you can say majority in Parliament Alexander Fenyamaki say won na wo ye majority in Parliament na won eba ye no na me hu say enya dia confrontations bia eba ye won eba ye won nuanam eto honum no na won nyina nso epie na one central for etwetwe eye emu enkomo na ne wo kan ne say Ghana asumdwe ne Ghana kan kronti na won wo take that decision say enya dia won nuan be pre won kronwa ho na wo sorry na no ni nyina no agent speaker so na speaker eba na so the Supreme Court decision and stay of execution so mo de be adwuma dia na de mo na mo pepe ade enya ade a man side obi ate won mo the MPP once again in less than 1 week as I said the second walkout from the Chamber of Parliament.
Well, any videos ni mu baako na say honorable Fenyamaki honorable Adom one any other members no one na mo ba no na aso honorable Fenyamaki or pointing in sa asena or no be kasa or pointing in sa pass obi one name kan sa no hono chem kasa na den na ekoso oyam bo
na na ekoso nyina no ene say na in Central for one is MPA na one yem be kasa wa bonten eno na caucus leader say in Central for Nimbra no as a leader no oni ye be kasa nti oni be kasa o public guy ho ti no se gala yi ho na ye nyina be kasa dia ehun nya se wo se ye be call eye abonten eno nti CJ se wo bre kuma bia mene ye anobo very much ono wo caucus no eso anaso ka caucus no mene no wa se ma no musa no se mukoi yes, mo kose mo mabio, and now say mo kose speaker bedua, and so na mo best aba.
Very started proceedings. It is speaker by. I was saying now, but it is speaker by Baba.
NDC caucus say omo majority ntenya de omo so yet be omo no say the speaker banner the speaker say mo minority minority for afan mo betie speaker some of the can
we say you obey the Supreme Court as some can any year juma any other thing to find juma unless we are telling say you want us to say Supreme Court no obi associate Supreme Court yeah as some year juma MPP we are law abiding citizens into na you can say na Supreme Court here ngani e be
and for Ghana for in one thing ama wo ye mo sisi omo e wo ne ekoso Parliament the see a caucus na mo pie hu no na omanfo nso ehwe de be koso ne see an speaker and answer Supreme Court in Sunday na mo ka che Ghana for
oh you can say MPP for the year passing day so the leader time no and you say the man here duma free to santima MPP bass no you fire to the system enya duma da and you fire duma ne anya ochena ne can say speaker ba na court na kai no ye bebu so na adwuma a se ye nende no yae no boko gidi bia anim ani tire ne ye won pese ye kotena so bia kotena na wetim wa kam ye ma bi sense Ghana sumbe hu nyae Ghana democracy se protect no hu nyae eno adwuma na ye no
yo yewura tumbari mo no na wo ye doma isinma se bejani ono na ye te ne nka no entity ade a NPP caucus there one nyina every chamber honma one the one actually wa officer watching speaker eba na ye hu said ya
okay all right ohina ponsama me na wase eche bibia ni a ye de enche bia ni asori so ba me gidi say prem to break ase no na ye bekoso bia no wo de eho ama na ye beba bedan ohina ponsa mama na eboni a owo mra shebujafie lawyer
Ona
that's the latest from Parliament.
Said the Bible can was a we nyina say so ready nyankopon ne di ne mransam so intino aye sabre me na me ka say Robert Nasi by 10 but say me media ni nyina mu no
o hwe na ekos na nche bia
it's possible say na nche bia na Robert Nasi Robert Nasi o de dan beto de da nye gidi bia but say me ka tell on sige no cross say mrano titru amamrano constitution say ho mentime ho ase bi ba me ka benkun kwasi ka ne fa etwase yakopenchire mu ni hu se kwasi de ne ye na me de ne ye hwe obiansi hu kwa
a lawyer for mienu amwa ha Supreme Court utimi yemfom so
oh adan ya no ntumi yemfom so butuma yemfom so
okay enti say Supreme Court yemfom so what is the methodology what
oh they that times because they have stepped aside their decision
okay
and that is I wouldn't say the end but we didn't change
2013 petition ko ono
kwasi bato to kasa
2013 petition na judgment on mutual buy no
there were some errors
yeah actually come sa correct no who to me time bia
enti I mean anybody go sabita fracho anybody go and ya adwuma enti no from so de untumi nyim free nipa ho say utumi nyim from so no utumi nyim from so ana de hia na say wo yem from so na obehun say wo yem from so na wo from so na so say na ba book na say the one no won bonim no pa mo kan won nyakopon de che no so sige the woman say the speaker making that announcement before Parliament wasn't out of place but say the mekan message to be so we compare constitutional interpretation about something that media minimum say is never ambiguous. It's never ambiguous. This provisions that we have read, no, and ambiguous. But you see the argument about whether or not say, did you have to apply the law or you should have gone for interpretation before you come and apply the law? In a sense, because at every point in time that your client works to you, you connect his case to the law and put that on paper and put it before court. Who could do an court to just say, okay, you know, and I say, you know, but we have applied the law to the way we understand it. What you say? Sabi you go the police gakrai. Police in nature when I do go the police station wa. And I'm also no kind attempting to dey when they be actually start to pass they we dey not connect. Particulars of your case you put it together.
You're listening here.
You know just no to ko do and police even no ba charge ba ko da.
On pass.
Onye bi da. Why nye bi ko 2 and 3. Bani ba ko pe no.
Se ne be ya ba ku ja.
Ba ku be yi. silent here. Almost.
Almost charge back with that.
Almost back with that. I don't know about you did one thing. We are the any amount unlawful entry. I don't know where I know one is the one. You must steal your amount unlawful entry. Near amount stealing them. Now, be as a train of unlawful possession of them and them. You make robbery. You make
I already attempting to make a crime.
What does it? I'm planning to see once you attempt to commit a crime, you have committed it. And man, at every point in time, the Antias Yana, and the two and a Monday. Now, one bunch in Washono, I go punch him off in Pennypo. So it's never wrong for him to have applied the Lord how he understands it. And then, if somebody feels that, okay, well, me know nothing. Me, my only worry with Evan saying, I know was the fact that Baba got no on my cash. Was my Baba several rate processes, and I want some issue. Young name said the Chief Justice has issued a directive to all courts in this country. All courts. Our catcher courts, and say about Parliament. Who was 7 process beyond Mofan Quadra. And a Jordan can working hour. The working hour normally, you find it 8 to 5 p.m.
Yeah.
To Sabin and Mofanco. A damn, you declare a course of course of Parliament. None you I think it was either Tuesday or Wednesday. And now the course of course. But you are a lawyer. Almost 20 years standing. What has it? So you know, sir, when the CG or I'm sorry, the CJ gives a directive, you have to respect it.
Yeah.
So why were you and the bailiffs going to be outside the directives of the CJ? Why? Is it because you're in a hurry? Is it because you are anticipating something? Now maybe so. Were you in Parliament in the year 2020? Senior Yogati, former Attorney General. Were you in Parliament in the year 2020? Do you know Esiama or not Esiama? Do you know him? Do you remember what you people did to him? Oh, yes, you see any more Samansa and then you know, would see any way and day. Now, what's never been music? Oh, and I look at a part not so command speaker. There is no law. What will be another? I'm not being whether in our constitution or even in their party constitution. I can say the speaker must be written to before he acts. No. Who can I know? The moment you take that step, automatically something must happen. And to see about some is not an issue. On the other hand, also, your party constitution was in any case. Can MPP say that today? CTA. Since Morrison is a member of their party. I remember.
I mean,
Cynthia Morrison,
going by their
of course, she's a member of their party, and their national council has not given any waiver. So the applicability of the law is that Cynthia Morrison, by their constitution, Article 9, says that when you're a member of the MPP again, her membership has been revoked automatically by virtue of the step that she has taken.
That's right.
The same thing applies to NCA of Sum
Asante.
Sorry, I keep on calling Macedo. Asante of Sum. Women in Yanka party whom you. So why are you worrying? Why are you crying more than the brief? They are not worried. So why is the party worried?
No, I'm not sure say whether or not they are members and no a grantee say their constituency should be denied representation.
Several of them person working. Who can be me?
Omo constituency
who can be me?
I know where you are coming from. I know where you are coming from.
Poly and 9.
I know where you are coming from.
And 9 4 good years. Matnia can go for a one from my
but only a new assembly. Maybe that's my easy.
How do you see?
Maybe that's my easy. Maybe that's my
easy assembly.
Let's you work with you now.
Me ngasa my electoral commission. Okay, so okay 2013 electoral petition na. Openi chikata make some very sound argument being court. I mean,
when I was in the law school, I met class baby.
I'm na me kwa sabe me start e kwa. Sabe me sabe me we secondary school.
Oh. Was your small boy?
Senior.
Oba makacho say me senior no. Senior no enye law school ka majetu. E do ade ma. Afa wo chense ma kwede. Wo chense ma kwede. Baby a medru senior ma menka sem senior bi. Baby, I made you as a beard age now. Any man in the year. Mekael Shamiko. Almost I acquire. Only said my quiet, only said my quiet. Nelson did I'm to say, Mammy Billy Papa almost said, oh, yes, we need you to quit Nibo. And one of the moves I did, me, I must send a mocha. I said, I don't say I do it, me, I must send a mocha. I said, Abba.
But finally, I mean, how near air cost no a bit me abuana, I share keep mamming cabin no mukena. And moving forward, the lessons we can draw from near Akoso in the past few days. Just 1 minute.
No, no, say.
Yeah.
One more parliament, you know. Mint, I know more than them. What is going on in parliament is same America say is more of politics than law. The usual political drama no money because some people say lawyer say Supreme Court one more ruling on no e make on the state of execution the speaker and sakana we just assume say by now the one more assemble parliament be a speaker and saka and I'm expecting say ne saka sebio obi a ono eso dem run na adwuma there. I'm not sure say the speaker will want to set a precedent say he's the first speaker to disrespect parliament. The media me sure say next time I want to correspond with Kwabeka. I'm sure say the speaker no sending Saka
will reverse the communication.
Yes. Because I mean, communication. The speaker knows better than myself. Okay. Speaker no has been there and again so no. When you sure say Supreme Court one more decision will make you or more reason and they say only fair say within the interim no. One more constituency na one more nyem from so bia. Na me de Mr. Chikata asem na ba no. Okay say or make argument say me and visited the sense of the presiding or returning officers on the ordinary voter. Because the fact say returning officer, one sign pink sheet and just say, me ma ba me control a nullity. Okay. Who be intention, one making intentions of so independence of so when it should not affect ordinary voter not to Obama and say when day or my representative. And this is, I mean, under the umbrella of fairness. And the Kenyan say, Speaker should at least one respect what the Supreme Court has said. And I'm not sure the Speaker want to set a precedent.
Council.
So 1 minute.
Yeah, 1 minute.
And the woman
one of them be what?
The amount to say.
My na masem no me fa free ewura judge bi na friend justice kluche na nani mo asem bi o kan wo se na wie ye ni mo ndo kan ni wo se our responsibility is greater when we interpret the constitution. Because we are more judges for no. So one more touch the constitution, one must no so. Was we cannot and must not substitute our wisdom. We cannot and must not substitute our wisdom for the collective wisdom of the framers of the constitution. We cannot and must not substitute our wisdom for the collective wisdom of the framers of the Constitution. The framers of the Constitution 1992 wanted the fact that if somebody tries any of this thing that has happened, you don't remain in Parliament. So as the court does that, as the court they need not, per the words of Justice Security, they should not substitute their wisdom with that of the framers of the Constitution.
I think that's good. That's okay. Support your case.
Eradin share will be a lawyer. Mami, and Chakuma majority leader. You are at the first majority leader.